Welcome, curious learners, to the Deep Dive.
Hello.
Today we're plunging into something really fascinating. It's this intersection of art and social change.
Right.
We're exploring these maybe surprising connections between two iconic figures from really different eras.
Yeah, very different.
We've got punk rock legend Joe Strummer of The Clash
Iconic.
and the revolutionary German playwright Bertolt Brecht.
Hmm.
And the thread connecting them, it's the philosopher Walter Benjamin through his insights and observations.
Yeah, Benjamin's perspective is key here.
Now, you might be thinking, what could a 20th century German Marxist theater guy possibly have in common with a British punk rocker?
It does sound like an odd pairing at first glance, doesn't it?
It really does. But we've taken a deep dive into some critical analyses of Strummer's politics, and we put that alongside Benjamin's writings, specifically his conversations about Brecht's theories and work.
And our mission really is to unpack how both of them saw art, not just as, entertainment, but as a powerful tool, a kind of, a hammer, as Brecht famously put it.
Exactly, that hammer image, a tool for shaking up the status quo,
Yeah.
and how their methods, even decades apart, share this, similar radical spirit.
What's truly striking, I think, is how both figures, in their own unique world, sort of arrived at this core belief
Which is?
that art should actively engage with reality, maybe even transform it, not just hold up a mirror to it. So this exploration, hopefully, will reveal some really powerful shared ideas about challenging power, sparking critical thought, and giving a voice to people who often don't get heard.
Okay, right. So let's start maybe by unpacking Strummer's own political landscape, because there's quite a bit of debate there, isn't there?
There really is. We looked at one critical review discussing Gregor Gall's book on Strummer, and it highlights this tension perfectly.
How so?
Well, some earlier writers, like the reviewer Kieran Edmund James mentions, they flat out labeled Strummer things like a third world communist or a Marxist.
Okay, strong labels.
Yeah, but Gall, in his book, pushes back against that. He prefers to sort of infer Strummer's real politics from media interviews.
Yeah.
He kind of suggests the lyrics might just be for publicity, for image.
That's an interesting take.
Yeah.
Does James, the reviewer, buy that?
Not really. James counters pretty strongly, actually. He argues, look, artists pour huge effort into their lyrics, right? That's their crafted message. Interviews, they can be for shock value, quick quotes, the drill.
Yeah, sound bites.
Exactly. James suggests Strummer was maybe defined by his contradictions, but his ideas were definitely Marxist-infused or Marxist-influenced.
Okay, influenced.
Yeah, and you have to consider the context. The Clash's era, that was a peak time for Maoism gaining traction in the West, the Frankfurt School's ideas becoming known, Foucault's work entering English.
A real ferment of ideas.
Totally. And the political backdrop, you had Reagan, Thatcher, but also things like the Sandinista movement in Nicaragua. It was a charged time.
So when James uses a term like Marxist influence, he's grounding it in that specific historical moment.
Yes. Precisely. He's linking it to the idea that capitalism inherently exploits workers through surplus value, taking unpaid labor, and the need for radical change. That was definitely in the air then.
And crucially, this wasn't just academic for Strummer, the music itself.
Oh, absolutely. The music lived it.
Now, if we connect this wider, Brecht, too, was intensely political.
No question. A committed anti-fascist, a dissident communist. He wasn't just writing plays to entertain. His whole concept of epic theater was designed to make audiences think critically.
Not just get swept away by the story.
Exactly. To be active participants, not just passive consumers.
And here's where it gets really direct, isn't it? One of our sources quotes Brecht's famous line.
The hammer line?
Yeah. Art is not a mirror to reflect reality, but a hammer with which to shape it. Such a powerful image.
It really is. And incredibly, Strummer echoed that exact sentiment, didn't he? Using music as his political hammer.
You hear it right there in The Clash's Working for the Clampdown. Those lines.
Let fury have the hour. Anger can be power. Do you know that you can use it?
Chills. It's so direct. It's not subtle at all.
That's a shared core right there, I think. This profound conviction. Art isn't just like wallpaper. It's a dynamic force.
For social change.
Yeah. It's moving beyond just commenting on the world to actively trying to transform it.
Both of them, in their own ways, wanted to move people, move you, the listener, the audience, from just watching to actually engaging.
Picking up that hammer, too, in a sense.
Okay, so how do they do that? Let's dig into their methods, because the parallels here are really striking.
Absolutely. Brecht's epic theater, it was specifically designed not to let the audience get lost passively in the story. He introduced the alienation effect.
Verfremdung in German.
Right, Verfremdung. It sounds maybe a bit academic, but the idea is quite ingenious.
Making the familiar seem strange.
Exactly that, snapping you out of your comfort zone. He'd use techniques like actors stepping out of character, maybe addressing the audience directly.
Or flashing captions on stage that summarize what was about to happen, spoiling the suspense almost.
Yeah, or inserting songs, often with these really crude, heartrending refrains, Benjamin called them, that would just interrupt the flow.
So the goal wasn't just empathy with a character.
No, it was to make you feel astonished, as Benjamin put it, by the social conditions being shown.
Yeah.
To make you question why things are the way they are.
He wanted the stage to be less like a magic escape hatch.
And more like a public platform, where you, the audience, become interested parties, almost like experts analyzing a case study.
Not just hypnotized test subjects passively receiving it.
Exactly. And Walter Benjamin, watching Brecht, he noted something really profound about this. He said this interrupting of action isn't just an artistic trick. He saw it as a fundamental method in all kinds of creation, even beyond art. He said it's actually the origin of the quotation, taking something out of its flow to examine it.
Like putting reality under a microscope by interrupting it.
Precisely. Treating it like an experiment to reveal conditions, not just reproduce them. Benjamin saw Brecht's ideal as achieving the dialectic at a standstill.
Okay, that sounds a bit dense. What does that mean for us?
It means that real insight, the potential for change, often comes not when things are smooth, but in those jarring moments of interruption. That's when we're forced to stop, look, and question.
And you see the same kind of interruption in early punk, right? Especially The Clash.
Absolutely. Our sources point this out directly. The use of those abrupt, almost jarring musical changes.
Yeah, those shifts in tempo or style within a song.
And that direct, unpolished lyrical delivery. It served a really similar purpose to Brecht's alienation effect.
It stopped you from just passively listening. It forced you, the listener, to confront the song's message head on.
It was like a musical montage in Benjamin's terms.
Yeah.
Smashing dissimilar things together to shock you into seeing things differently.
You know, it reminds me of the first time I really listened to The Clash. It wasn't comfortable background music. It grabbed you, demanded your attention.
Yes. That deliberate discomfort, that refusal to just let you consume passively, that's the link. Both of them challenged what entertainment is for.
Instead of catharsis, that feeling of emotional release or illusion.
They wanted to provoke critical thinking, astonishment. Benjamin called it a kind of Socratic praxis.
Like Socrates, always questioning.
Exactly. Learning through questioning. So the pleasure wasn't about losing yourself. It was about the active process of recognizing our own ability to change things, even when facing huge social pressures.
It was a wake-up call, not an escape.
A call to wake up. Yeah.
And beyond these techniques, both also saw themselves as like chroniclers of their times, didn't they?
Very much so. Brecht, during his exile from Nazi Germany, he wasn't just writing plays. He was creating these detailed photo montages, collages.
Directly documenting the political horror around him?
Yes, visual evidence. And Strummer similarly described himself as a kind of news reporter.
Right. The Clash's songs are filled with contemporary issues, unemployment, racism, government failings.
Think about White Riot or London Calling. They're like sonic news bulletins, aren't they?
Capturing the anxiety, the struggle of working class life in that specific turbulent time, holding a microphone up to reality.
And this direct engagement with what's happening now is crucial for both. Brecht's work often featured what Benjamin termed the untragic hero.
Untragic, what does that mean exactly? Not your typical hero.
Not at all. We're not talking capes and saving the world. Think of characters like Gowley Gay in Brecht's play A Man's a Man. Benjamin described him as like an empty stage on which the contradictions of our society are acted out. This kind of character shows a continual readiness to admit a new essence. They're adaptable, changeable, not fixed heroes.
Malleable in the face of pressure.
Exactly. And Benjamin also connected this to Kafka's idea of the wise man who gets caught under the wheels of the system.
Not a fighter, then.
Not in a traditional heroic sense. He responds not with grand gestures, but with persistent questions, with a refusal to just accept things.
That feels quite different from typical inspirational art, maybe. Don't people sometimes need clear heroes?
It's a really good point, and it highlights the different kind of inspiration Brecht and Benjamin were interested in. It's not about lacking courage. It's about a different kind of resilience.
Okay.
Like in Brecht's Threepenny novel, there's a character, Fukumbi, described as transparent and faceless. He represents the millions victimized by a corrupt society.
The anonymous masses.
Right. Benjamin saw Brecht's work embodying what he called crude thinking.
Crude, as in basic.
Not basic or unsophisticated, more like practical street-level understanding, the kind of wisdom you find in Proverbs, the way ordinary people grasped how the system actually works.
Wow, okay. Gut-level insight.
Yeah. And that crude thinking allows them to navigate, to resist, to survive. Benjamin loved quoting Brecht's maxim, don't start from the good old things, but the bad new ones.
Confront the present problems directly.
Head on. Don't look back nostalgically. So connecting it all, both Brecht and Strummer, through their art, were really empowering people, especially the exploited, to understand their own situation and question it.
They rejected those easy, romantic hero narratives.
And instead, they highlighted the resilience, the cunning, the adaptability of ordinary people dealing with harsh realities, giving them tools to understand the bad new things.
Sharpening awareness, not offering escape.
Exactly.
So where does this leave us today? What's the lasting impact? Benjamin had another really key term here, didn't he? Functional transformation.
Funktionierung. Yes. It's a fantastic concept.
What's the core idea?
The idea is that intellectuals, artists, writers, thinkers shouldn't just supply content to the existing cultural system, the apparatus, as he called it.
They should try to change the apparatus itself.
Precisely. Actively change it, redirect it towards more progressive, maybe socialist ends. A writer, Benjamin argued, should adopt a kind of teacher's attitude.
Producing work that acts as a model for others.
Yes, a model for other creators and something that transforms audiences from passive consumers into active collaborators.
So Brecht's epic theater, with all its radical techniques, that was the model.
It was exactly that kind of model. It broke down barriers between art forms, embraced new media like radio or film, saw them not just as entertainment, but as tools for potential social control or transformation.
Like Brecht and Hans Eisler's didactic plays, teaching specific lessons.
Or even the way the Soviet press, which Benjamin observed, tried to blur the lines between author and reader, making everyone a potential contributor. It's about making the audience part of the process.
And bringing this full circle to Joe Strummer. His legacy seems to embody this functional transformation perfectly.
It really does, doesn't it? After his death in 2002, the Joe Strummer Foundation was set up.
By his widow Lucinda, their daughters, and Damien Hirst the artist.
Right. And its mission, it's completely aligned with this idea. Promoting new music, supporting unsigned musicians, helping people express themselves through music.
It's literally transforming the cultural apparatus into an engine for empowerment, providing free rehearsal spaces.
Yeah, like the Strummerville studio at the Roundhouse in London with his lyrics on the walls that direct a link.
In studios in Belfast, even Bogota. It's international.
Plus the Strummerville bandstand at Glastonbury, giving new bands a platform. They've supported hundreds of musicians, some who broke through, like Bastille, Anna Calvi.
And charity singles, documentaries. It's not just memorializing him.
No, it's actively enabling future artists. It's the continuation of his vision. Music as expression, as empowerment, it is functional transformation in action.
It's the hammer being passed on.
Beautifully put, yes.
So this deep dive, it's really shown us how Strummer and Brecht, with Benjamin sort of illuminating the connections, they forged this path for art as a hammer.
A tool not just to reflect, but to actively shape our world.
From punk's jarring chords to epic theater's stop-start scenes, they both wanted to shatter illusions.
Provoke critical thought.
And empower the unheard voices.
They really understood that art's true power isn't just in beauty or escape. It's in revealing conditions, challenging assumptions, fostering that collective critical engagement.
Finding that spark of hope in the past, as Benjamin might say, and connecting with those inconspicuous, sober, and inexhaustible forces that can actually make change happen.
Seeing the potential in the interruption, making the hard thing give way.
So what does this mean for you, the listener? It's maybe a reminder that art, in all its forms, really is a powerful force.
Yeah, it invites you to think not just about what art you consume, but how you engage with it.
Do you let it just wash over you? Or do you let it challenge you, maybe provoke you, make you a bit uncomfortable?
And perhaps, how might you use your own creative energies, whatever they are, to shape the world around you?
So we end this deep dive with a thought to maybe mull over. If art can be a hammer, what are your tools for shaping the world? And what untragic heroes might you empower to question and transform their reality today?